I was confused. I'm sure he was at least as well. Can't wait to find out his biggest gripe. But Marcellus, you up first. What's your biggest issue with the NBA's best under-25 ranking?
Well, my first issue is who the hell wrote this list? And did they watch a lot of basketball or just a little? Because, man, don't believe the hype. All these guys are tremendous to even be on this list. So let me first give them their flowers, give them their roses. That said, I got a problem with the order, y'all, especially when we start getting into the top 10. My biggest gripe, though, is Jason Tatum at number 5. What the hell? Now, LaMelo Ball is amazing, and y'all know me. I have supported the Triple B brand. I got me some damn LaMelos. I got all the shoes. But why is LaMelo up there higher than Jason Tatum when LaMelo Ball only started 21 of his 41 games before getting hurt? And then his plus-minus was a -40 for the season, and he played fewer minutes than the other guys in the top 5. So when I look at my man Jason Tatum, who has some all-time NBA numbers, only 8 players in NBA history to average 25, 6, and 4 in a season, and he's going to be one of those guys, what the hell is he not higher on this list? And especially, why isn't he higher than the great LaMelo Ball, but still developing, and we need to see more from that same LaMelo Ball. At least put him in a position where he's higher than LaMelo Ball. And then I won't have such an issue. But there are other issues here, but I'm going to let y'all go after it.
So my biggest issue is that this list, it only furthers a micro issue that the NBA already has. They overvalue potential instead of actually play. Like the NBA, they keep looking at potential. What do I mean by that? Zion, let's just talk about him first. Zion, we already know Zion goes crazy. We know what he has the ability to do. But we also know that he's played 69 out of a possible 122 games, playing 57% of the games. LaMelo Ball, I believe he's going to end up playing 41 out of a plausible 72 games this year. That's 57% of the games. So the top 2 of the top 3 players on this list is primarily predicated upon their potential. But can we look at what some dudes have actually done? I'm going to start and sprinkle a little Jason Tatum before I really get to my point.
There you go.
Jason Tatum, let me just sprinkle a little bit of that. He's played 315 out of a plausible 332 games. That's 95%. The first grade that you get in class, regardless of your educational level, is attendance. Y'all already know this. Middle school, high school, and even in college, attendance already counts for about 10% of your grade. Just show up. Zion has showed up 57% of the time. LaMelo Ball on track to show up 57% of the time. Jason Tatum shows up. At least the first grade you're going to get is an A because he shows up 95% of the time. But I think my biggest gripe is really with Jamal Murray being at 13th. He gets slept on because, again, if we're going to talk about potential, I got to talk about reality. And Jamal Murray last year, what was he? The first player to score 3 straight 40-plus point games in a series since Michael Jordan in '93. First player ever to score 40 points in 3 elimination games in the playoffs. Now, let's talk about what Jamal Murray did in the playoffs, because the playoffs are actually more meaningful ball than Zion's ever played, clearly more meaningful ball than LaMelo's ever played. And if we being real, more meaningful ball than Luka's played, because Luka's only ever played in 1 playoff series against the Clippers, a team that he didn't beat, not his fault of his own. You saw Luka ball and go crazy. But Jamal Murray, first round against the Jazz last year in the playoffs, averaged 31, 6, and 5. Second round, the semis against the vaunted Clippers. You ain't supposed to beat the Clippers. Clippers supposed to win it all. He averaged 22, 6, and 4, including scoring 40 points in that closeout game, elimination game. Came back from down 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. Then against the Lakers, obviously they were outmatched, outhandled, but he still gave you 25 and 7. So my 2 biggest gripes are, number 1, the fundamental issue of overvaluing potential, and number 2, give credit where it's due to players that have actually played in meaningful games. Jason Tatum, 2 Eastern Conference Finals. Jamal Murray, y'all saw what he did last year.
Brothers.
Talk to me, CB.
Did you read the headline?
Talk to me, CB.
It said it's the top 25 players under 25 based on future potential. That's what it's saying. It's not based on what you've done already. It is based on projections. Acho, I guarantee you, if it was top 25 players under 25, LaMelo Ball's not in the top 10. I bet the same writers, the same analysts that put this list together would have a different list. I'll give you that. But it was based on future projections. And with that being the case, Luka's number one either way, okay? I got no problem with Zion at 2.
No.
And I'm going to be honest, when I first saw the list, not knowing it was future potential, I said, what? LaMelo at 3? But then understanding that, I've got no issue with LaMelo at 3, and here's why. LaMelo Ball as a starter in Charlotte, 21 games, nice sample size for a rookie. 19 points, 6 dimes, 6 rebounds, 46% shooting. That's nice. On 42.5% shooting from 3. That's phenomenal. And Charlotte was 11-10 in those 21 games. So they were winning with him as the starter. You know how many 19-year-olds have done that? 1. And his name is LeBron James. Kevin Garnett wasn't this good in the NBA at 19. Kobe Bryant wasn't this good in the NBA at 19. Tracy McGrady, we can go on and on. LeBron and LaMelo have done this type of damage as 19-year-olds. So I'm cool with that. My main problems is De'Aaron Fox is too high at 6. All right, he can't shoot the 3, and he really doesn't even shoot free throws that well. He should be lower. I think they completely disrespected Trae Young and Ja Morant. Ja is 15, Trae is 16. They act like Trae Young's not averaging 25 and 9 assists for the 4th seed in the East. I don't get that. I know Nate McMillan's a big part of their success, but Trae Young is still balling, and Atlanta is winning. And then Ja Morant, with not much help around him, had Memphis in the 9th seed in the West last year as a rookie, in the 8th seed right now in the West with Memphis. So I thought they totally disrespected those. But I'm fine with Melo.
Here's my thing, CB. The problem is, big dog, when we talk about potential, all we ever want to do is this. How many points can they score? How many boards do they get? How many dimes do they drop? That's not what constitutes greatness. The best ability, CB, you know this. You've probably said it before, at least you've heard it before. The best ability is availability. So if I'm going to start talking about things that constitute potential, can we factor in health? Because if we were to factor in just straight talent, we never would have mentioned, we would completely change Derrick Rose's trajectory. Let's talk about Brandon Roy. We don't talk about him very often because injuries derailed him. But that's another dude that was on route to being a superstar if not for injuries. If we're talking about potential, CB, then at least we got to look at everything. I'm not just going to sit here and look at the James Harden statistics of how many points can you score, can you light up a box sheet. That's not what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is say this. Wait a second. If I'm talking potential, I got to factor in that Zion's only played 57% of the games. If I'm talking potential, I got to factor in LaMelo's sample size is so small that am I really going to compare LaMelo's 41-game sample size to Jason Tatum's 355-game sample size, including what we've seen Jason Tatum do in conference championship? Am I talking potential? Then at least let me use things that factor in a greater sample size. So I'm with you, CB, on that operative word of potential. But are we just going to ignore the fact that, like, Luka, we still trying to figure out if and when he going to play defense. Now, he is still a bona fide number 1, no doubt about that. But, CB, I'm not going to ignore all the factors that make a guy a top-flight guy when talking about potential, because health got to be the first one. And we still not even sure if Zion going to stay healthy. And LaMelo Ball got a 41-game sample size that I can't assess compared to a dude that's played 350 games.
I can't give you that on LaMelo because his injury was a freak injury that could happen to anybody. Michael Jordan's second year, we know he missed all but like 17 games with an injury. It can happen, all right? But Zion, I'll give you. Zion is a concern. His durability, that's one of the major reasons he shouldn't be number 1 like some other people think he should, because his durability, we have no idea. I'm with you on that, Acho. And his game is not going to age as well as some of these other guys' games. If he loses his athleticism for whatever reason, whether it's just age and attrition or he gets hurt, he has a knee injury, and, you know, he comes back a different player, to your point, like Derrick Rose, he's done. I mean, he'll still be in the league, but he won't be dominating anybody because his game right now is all athleticism and being able to handle the ball some. So I'm with you on Zion in that regard, but I can't give you that on LaMelo just because that's a freak injury that could happen to anybody.
Yeah, I disagree with Acho. Even though it's poetic to say the greatest ability is availability, you need a little more than just availability. So I can make an assessment, even though it's a small sample size, for LaMelo Ball. That said, he still shouldn't be 2 slots higher than Jason Tatum. Like, Jason Tatum, not only, this is what I have a problem with. I get the potential thing. I saw that. Is he as good as Jason Tatum now? No arguable. Is he that much better than Jason Tatum? Nobody's going to say that just yet. I don't care what you project out of him. You stop projecting the same kind of greatness out of Jason Tatum when he's already giving you such a tremendous resume already in his career. One of 5 players ever to tally what he has in rebounds, points, and assists at age 22. And the other guys are Kevin Durant, T-Mac, Garnett, and LeBron James. I mean, it's insane to say that. So projections is why we stay in the barbershop late, because everybody's going to have an argument. But the point of it is, I still don't see how you can have Jason Tatum at a 5 and then look at LaMelo in this short of a sample size with numbers that are not even better than Tatum's, 19-6-6 versus 25-7-4, and still say not only is he as good, but he's better than Jason Tatum. Makes no sense.